Ani, Bojo, Martha Padoniquit Dishnikaz, Nayash Ingaming Donjaba, Nimki Benashi, and Dodam, Anishinaabe, Minwa, Bodawatomi, and Dow. Hello, my name is Martha. I am from Nayash Ingaming, otherwise known as the Chippewas of Nawash, and formerly as Cape Croker. I am from the Thunderbird clan, and I am recognized as Anishinaabe and Potawatomi descent. I am very pleased today to be able to share with you a little bit of information about our community. We are located on the Saugeen, also known as the Bruce Peninsula, on the beautiful shores of Georgian Bay, 58 kilometers from Owen Sound, 28 kilometers from Wyerton. Nayash Ingaming means point of land surrounded by water. Our community has a population of 750 members living on the First Nation and a total membership of 2,700. We are governed by an elected chief and 9 councillors. Pictured here is the current chief and council. Elections are scheduled for this August, and election terms are for a period of 2 years. We have been living in Saugeen, Anishinaabe King, on Turtle Island, and among the waters of the Great Lakes since time immemorial. Our identity is founded on our laws, teachings, practices, experiences, and relationships. We have always had a deep and profound connection to our land and waters. Our ancestors hunted, fished, harvested, and gathered medicines from all over the territory in order to maintain the health and well-being of our nation. In all aspects of our life, our territory has sustained our nation. Through our treaties with the Crown, we agreed to share part of our land with people who have come from all around the world. Our territory expanded from Collingwood on the east to Orangeville and Arthur in the south, through to Goderich in the west. In 1836, Treaty 45.5 was negotiated with the Crown. This is the lime green portion at the bottom. Son agreed to open up 1.5 million acres of land for settlement in exchange for economic assistance and protection from settler encroachment. Part of the text of the treaty reads, "Upon which proper houses shall be built for you, and proper assistance given to enable you to become civilized and to cultivate land which your great father engages forever to protect for you from the encroachments of the whites." In 1851, this small white portion was called the Half-Mile Strip, or Treaty Number 67, which surrendered over 4,000 acres for a road to join Owen Sound and Southampton. In 1854, the Saugeen, or Bruce Peninsula Treaty, known as Treaty Number 72. This treaty was interpreted by settler governments as the surrender of the Saugeen Peninsula in exchange for reserves. That is, certain tracts of land were set aside, and as you will see in red, those are the lands that we currently maintain today. Proceeds of the sale of the land were to be provided to the Son, the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, which is collectively the Saugeen First Nation and the Chippewas of Nawash. The orange portion surrendered in 1857 was the Owen Sound and or Nawash Reserve, which encompassed approximately 10,000 acres of beautiful shoreline property. Nawash in the northwest area of Owen Sound. This is when residents of the Owen Sound Nawash Reserve moved to Cape Croker, although many did not want to. The small blue square was settled in 1861. This was known as the Chippewas Bay Treaty Number 93. There was a small settlement there, and 6,000 acres were surrendered. Some residents moved to Nayash Ingaming and Saugeen, but the majority moved to Christian Island, now known as the Beausoleil First Nation. From 1885 to 1899, various islands were surrendered. These included the fishing islands off of Lake Huron, Cape Hurd Islands, Griffith Island, Hay Island, and White Cloud Island. And in 1968, approximately 90 of the fishing islands in Lake Huron were returned to the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation. A great documentary to watch if you would like more information is called The Bruce, with the first segment titled The Fishing Chiefs. In 1994, we filed a land claim against Treaty Number 72 based on the fact that the Crown breached its fiduciary duty. This claim, which ended up being a 27-year process, began trial proceedings in 2019. The Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation Administration Building monitors and maintains general program operations for all band programs. Services provided within the administration office include payroll, accounts payable and receivable, lands management, estates and membership, fisheries assessment and biology, capital planning, band representative, public works, and reception. The chief's office, the tribal secretary, and the band administrator are also housed in this building. Our health center delivers programs that promote health and prevent disease. This includes prenatal nutrition programs, a monthly physician's clinic, foot care services, chronic disease prevention programs, communicable disease program, environmental health awareness program, home and community care, personal support workers, youth mental health, medical transportation, and addiction services. The Chippewas of Nawash Health Center is part of the emergency response team that is capable of dealing with emergencies whenever the health of its residents is threatened. It is staffed 5 days a week with a registered community health nurse and community representatives. Chief and Council transferred educational governance and administration of education programs and services to an elected board of trustees. The board oversees programs and services which include elementary, Kikinda-Sogamig Elementary School, which services our children from junior kindergarten to grade 8, secondary school and secondary student support services for our youth who attend either the Bruce Peninsula District Secondary School or St. Mary's High School, post-secondary students and the Nawash Post-Secondary Assistance Program, the daycare, Nishimi Child and Family Center, Language Nest Program, the Nawash Education Diversity Assistance Program, and Education, Language, and Culture. The Chippewas of Nawash Housing Department is located at the Seniors Apartment Complex and assists band members with recommendations regarding their housing needs, overseeing construction of new homes, and maintenance of band rental units, collection of mortgages and rental payments, and most recently, the oversight of 18 Habitat for Humanity homes. This building also houses 12 independent senior apartments, the Social Services Office including Ontario Works, ODSP, Employment Support, and Addiction Services. The Home and Community Care Congregated Dining Hall is also located within this building, as well as the Madoki Seniors Program. So, in addition to the brief outline of services, we have many other programs within our community, including our own police force, which is comprised of 5 officers who are all of First Nations descent, and 4 of whom are from the Chippewas of Nawash community. We have our own fire department, Public Works Department, water treatment operators, wellness center, family well-being, lands management, and the Native Child Welfare Program. The Native Child Welfare Program is situated in an old stone building that was built in 1863. It was one of the original Indian day schools run by the St. Mary's Catholic Church. But first, some background. Our community was impacted by the First and Second World Wars. Nawash had the highest per capita of eligible men enlist in both world wars. Our families also experienced the loss of their children by the forced removal to residential schools with the objective to civilize Aboriginal children by removing them from their homes and culture. Because of residential school, new parents did not have the ability to nurture and care as would normally be learned through positive interaction with loving parents. During the 60s child welfare scoop, Aboriginal children were taken from the community and put up for adoption through newspaper and television ads and placed in non-Aboriginal homes with little consideration of the need to preserve their culture and identity. The men in our community, who are now in their late 40s, early 50s, also suffered sexual abuse by a priest who was stationed in our community. Our community is not unlike many other First Nation communities across Canada. The pain and the heartbreak that our grandparents and parents suffered is immeasurable. This pain and trauma has led to intergenerational addictions, mental health, and suicidal ideation. Did you know that there are more First Nation children placed in foster care today than those that were sent to residential school? The Truth and Reconciliation Commission outlines that the conditions that send so many First Nation children into the welfare system are connected to the intractable legacies of trauma, including poverty, addictions, and domestic and sexual violence. Reform of the child welfare system is essential. So, in conclusion, I leave you with this quote from Thompson Highway's published play, The Rez Sisters. Before the healing can take place, the poison must be exposed. We have an obligation to remember and to pass on to the next generation all that has happened, both good and bad. Miigwech, and thank you for listening.